welcome to the Half-Blood Report.
Here we dive deep into recent Demigod news, upcoming presents books, questions only Zeus knows the answer to, and all of our things riding. I'm Samuel, your co-host.
And I'm Diego, your other co-host.
So let's jump into the Demigod news.
We got 2 new articles on Read Riordan this week. The first one being related to the new Race to the Sun, which, by the way, if you guys haven't already picked it up, make sure to go to the book section on the website, and you guys can pick it up there. It's a fantastic book, and me and Sam will be talking about it next week.
Yeah. So this was actually part of the slew of sort of promotional articles for Race to the Sun that we got last week. It's just that it came out this week and we didn't get to discuss it when we recorded last week. But yeah, it's basically sort of this article talking about all the things in Race to the Sun that hint to the fact that Nizoni and Mac are Monsterslayers, which means they slay monsters.
Well, one of them's the Monsterslayer.
I mean, technically, they both have monster slaying capabilities.
Yeah, just one of them's like a lot better at it, and the other one's a wuss.
One of them's like officially Monster Slayer, another one's like
born of water or something.
No, you know, it's like Luke
Skywalker and Han Solo. Like one of them is like
a
Jedi, and the other one's just like a goodish person.
It's like there's being a Marvel superhero, which is being a Monster Slayer, but then there's having Marvel in your name, like Captain Marvel. Yeah, that
okay.
was.
Listeners, please don't stop listening. Sam was just joking. Sometimes he says some, edgy things and controversial statements.
How was that controversial? I was making a comparison.
Okay, moving on.
So edgy, making a comparison to MCU.
I'm pretty sure that's a crime in at least one state.
Okay, well, I'm sure I'm the co-host who people are mad at right now. Anyways, so that wasn't really much news-wise, but it was like just another Race to the Sun promotional article that we figured we should touch on. And another thing we got was I thought this was kind of funny. Demigod near-death stats.
Oh yeah, those were good.
So it was basically a compilation of, basically all the near-death encounters demigods have had.
Yeah. This one has a little bit more meat to it, as opposed to the Monster Slayer one, which, it said how to tell if you're a Monster Slayer. But it didn't even have a quiz, which was kind of like, I don't know. I would have liked it to be a quiz. If you guys don't know, Read Riordan, puts out like quizzes every so often. They're usually like little multiple choice things. And like the article was like 5 sentences long, but this one was much more meaty. They compiled, like as Samuel said, near death experiences like from all through the books, the main series.
No, and also the side stories. They compiled pretty much everything.
But like not from Magnus or Carter, because I'm pretty sure Magnus has had more near-death experiences than Hazel.
Well, yeah, but no, they didn't. I mean, they when I mean like when you say the side books, I thought you were talking about like the crossovers, but no, like they counted the crossovers with the Canes too. And like,
but didn't actually include the Canes.
Yeah, and the Singer of Apollo. No, they only did the 7 main demigods, but like they did all the like Demigod Diaries, Demigod Files, and then of course the Percy Jackson Olympians, and then Heroes of Olympus. And I thought this was nice. My only probably complaint is some of the near-death experiences like either weren't counted that much as near-death experiences, that they weren't put on the list. Like, there's a moment described in The Son of Neptune where Frank, as a baby, is confronted with a bear, and then his mom basically saves him by turning herself into a bear to talk to the other bear. But that part where like baby Frank is confronted with an actual bear that could have eaten him isn't counted on Frank's near death experiences chart. So like, I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, but
Um,
like captured by Amazons is a near death experience, which
well, yeah, they did almost die, to be honest.
kind of.
And
Also, the
also,
other thing is that for the demigods of, well, there's only two of them, but Annabeth and Percy from the original, you know, uh, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. They counted the entire Battle of Manhattan as one near-death experience. Whereas
yes,
I felt as like for Annabeth, I kind of sort of understand it. Not really. I feel as though they should have, at least for the two of them, included the moment on the bridge where Ethan Nakamura like almost stabs Percy Jackson in the weak point with a poison knife, and it instead stabs Annabeth. It should be counted as a near death experience, at least for the both of them. Like the rest of it was just like in general fighting and stuff, and I get not counting each of those individually. But I feel like that moment was like very big in like a couple of chapters. I mean, Kronos talks about it. Annabeth is recovering and the actual event happens. So like at least 3 chapters worth of like stuff devoted to that. So I feel like that should have at least counted as one other.
yeah, and overall, it's just I think really annoying that like there is a near death experience in every chapter of the Last Olympian, and just overarching, it is one big near death experience. But like, it, I think that you got to count it like chapter, like by chapter at least, like each like near death experience he had, because it's kind of hard to say, oh yeah, this like whole battle was a near death experience because it was like it was a battle that lasted like half a book. And
Exactly.
so I don't know. I find that a little unfair to Percy and Annabeth, but they still Percy and Annabeth have the highest um, near death
Count.
stat, which actually leads me to my next complaint because Jason Grace, we don't know enough about him to know like all the quests he went on before Heroes of Olympus, but I think it's
Yeah.
safe to say he had a lot of near death experiences, but they actually only count two. And to be fair, they count the only two ones ever mentioned in the books, but like he probably went on other quests. So I think they should have just like given a little like flex and say like an extra 5 to 10 near death experiences for whatever we don't know about his past and put him in sort of a flex scenario because I think we all know Jason Grace was doing something besides just training
Yeah,
at
he
Camp
was the
Jupiter.
great creator of the Legion. Um Also, I find it very interesting that the main thing that we know about Hazel is that she kind of got trapped like under a mud pit, um, like
Died.
down there. But they, oh well, I guess it's not a near death experience, but it should still be counted. I feel.
Oh no, because they're counting the. I think what they said is recently we tallied the ways that our favorite demigods have escaped, cheated, or just plain triumphed over mortality, and so Hazel dying doesn't count as triumphing over mortality,
I guess.
right?
I
So
guess.
like,
I feel like Hazel has done more things.
yeah, I
Not
don't know.
really though.
Yeah, it was actually surprising to me that how little Hazel actually had near death experience wise. I was um and like Leo, Frank, and Hazel. I was they're the three at the bottom of the list, and I was surprised that like they really had almost nothing. And like when I saw Jason in third place, I'm like, okay, but that's like a flex spot. He probably has a
Yeah,
bit
but
more.
for Leo, it's just it's not it's not done like at all because Leo fought. Um, didn't he fight like a bunch during Trials of Apollo in the Dark Prophecy? I feel like as if he fought like a bunch of things and none of those were counted.
Oh yes, so Leo did have like adventures with Apollo in the Dark Prophecy, and none of his stuff in the Dark Prophecy is counted, which is pretty
Yeah,
unfair.
and like everything for all the other heroes was counted. I haven't
Well,
finished
no,
the Trials of Apollo.
yeah, no, the tyrants. The tyrants' tomb stuff isn't counted for Hazel and Frank, and the Dark Prophecy stuff isn't counted for Leo, but the Burning Maze stuff is counted for Piper and Jason, which is like, and then the Hidden Oracle stuff is counted for Perseus. So that's like, what? Ugh. I have
Yeah,
problems with this. But it's just a bar graph that we're making too much of a deal out of. But if you want to see the list for yourself and make your own opinion about it, links in the description.
yeah. I don't know.
All right.
It felt a bit like abbreviated.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So let's move on to our next section.
Yeah, reorder and review. The name is pretty self-explanatory. In this section, we review either a recent reordered book or a reread.
Yeah, and for the past few weeks, we've been using this section to follow along with Demigodathon, which, of course, is the current event that's been happening where the fandom rereads the Percy Jackson series week by week.
And this week, hashtag Demigodathon book was The Battle of the Labyrinth. So that's the
Which is
tweet.
one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, so that's this week's Riordan review. What do you think?
Well, it's definitely the most action-packed book, by far, I feel, um, except for The Last Olympian.
Mm, yeah, it's definitely like a lot of stuff happens in
Yeah, I feel like as we mentioned in the Titan's Curse, a lot more stuff is hinted at in it, but a lot more like actual action happens during the Battle of the Labyrinth.
yeah, one thing that I actually every time I reread the Battle of the Labyrinth, I like the prophecy so much. I think this book is one of the best prophecies besides maybe like the
The
prophecy
original,
probably probably my like second or third favorite prophecy.
all of them,
Yeah, out of
even the funny ones in TOA.
those aren't prophecies.
What do you mean?
Um,
Yeah, they are. They're recited by oracles.
fine, but yes, it's probably my favorite, one of my favorite prophecies. Uh, and the reason is, I think it's not too long, but it is like one of the longer ones, and it tells you a lot of stuff, but still is probably the most vague. Um, and I like how Annabeth doesn't tell the last line, uh, but like on a reread, you know what the last line is, and it just makes it
Yeah,
better.
yeah,
Um, my only problem is I think this is probably the book where Percy is reminded of the prophecy the least. Like usually, like every few chapters, Percy's like, "Wait a second, could that be this line from the prophecy?"
yeah,
And like you kept getting reminded of the prophecy. But I think in the Battle of the Labyrinth, you're like reminded of the prophecy like maybe one or two times in total, and it's just not really front and center enough, which is I think is a shame because the Battle of the Labyrinth prophecy is one of my favorite
yeah.
prophecies.
If you guys can obviously look it up for yourselves, but just to like kind of give you guys an idea, I'll read the prophecy. You shall delve in the darkness of the endless maze, the dead, the traitor, and the lost one raise. You shall rise or fall by the ghost king's hand, the child of Athena's final stand. Destroy with a hero's final breath, to lose a love to worse than death.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, and this actually ties into one of my favorite moments of the book where Nico is just like, "Actually, you're not the Ghost King, I am." And just like I think that's a
Blows
real
him up,
powerful moment.
just explodes the
Yeah.
windows, and then the sunlight just comes in and he burns up.
I think you're talking about a different Percy Jackson book.
No, no, no. No, it's definitely that one. Remember? The King Minos is there and then the windows like burst open
Oh, I
and the
know the
sunlight comes in.
windows burst open, but Nico doesn't burn up.
No,
Someone
no, no,
else
not
might have
Nico, but
burned up in.
but the ghost, King Minos does.
Minos.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying Nico burns up.
Oh,
I'm like,
no, he
actually,
doesn't.
that's
What do you mean? Nico
thinking
is
the
my
Tyrant's
favorite
Tomb.
character. He can't possibly burn up.
Just like ignites himself on fire and is like, yeah, actually, I'm a child of Apollo now. Uh-oh.
Wait, but Apollo isn't fire.
Yeah, but like sun bursting into fire. No, because that's like seems
No,
like
I
a very
think
Apollo thing. Like
no. It feels like a very Hephaestus thing to do.
no, because I think in the Dark Prophecy, there's like a thing where like Apollo bursts into fire and like unleashes his power.
No, he doesn't.
Well, then maybe I honestly, it just
Leo's
feels
the
like
only
Apollo thing
person.
to.
Leo's the only person with fire that we know.
Well, actually, in the Tyrant's Tomb, someone might burst into fire.
Oh, don't spoil
Spoiler
it.
alert to
Don't
all who haven't read
spoil
it.
it.
Yeah, we should keep the spoiler for free for the most recent Rick Riordan book, and that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel that's an Apollo-ish thing.
Yeah, it
bursting
does
into
feel
fire.
like his kind of like dramatic entrance.
Yeah, you're just like, hey, I'm like, because you know how he's those moments where he like gets his godly capabilities back. So that just feels like bursting into fire when you have your god and then the luminous. I don't know what I'm saying.
It's okay, Sam.
I don't. I've been rereading Percy Jackson so much that I've forgotten.
For those of you
Charles
listeners who sometimes struggle with moments when you don't know what it is that you're saying and you feel lost in life, it happens to all of us.
What?
The best of us.
Okay.
Mostly me and not Sam, but
Yes.
definitely
Oh,
happens.
okay. Anyways,
I'm gonna proceed to do some relaxing ASMR.
yeah, but actually, oh no, we've lost him to the dark side. No, but actually, I think I'm actually on the opposite side of you. I think Battle of the Labyrinth is my least favorite Percy Jackson Olympians book.
Ooh, why?
I don't know. It just
It's too
a lot of
cliche.
stuff. No, it's not very cliche. It's just a lot of stuff happens in the Battle of the Labyrinth, and the rest just kind of the conversation feels kind of weird.
Oh
Like
yeah, with all
there's
the Rachel, like, Percy Annabeth stuff.
oh yes, that is absolutely terrible. The Percy, Rachel, Annabeth stuff. That no, but yeah, I do I think that it's a very like that is painful. That sort of like drama. Where Rick is like, I'm a middle school teacher who's gonna try to write some high school romance. And so
Wait, are
that's
they in high
not fun.
school?
And
Oh
then
yeah, they are. They're like 16.
well, it starts off at freshman orientation.
Oh yeah.
So they're technically high schoolers.
Technically. They don't act much like it though. Wait, when does the
Yeah.
prophecy kick off?
What are you talking? Wait, which prophecy?
The last one.
The Battle of Labyrinth?
Yeah. No. The last Olympian.
It kicks off in the last
Yeah, but
Olympiad
like, what age are they?
at
Oh.
16.
Oh yeah, it's because I
And they're
have a late birthday. That's why. I got really confused for a second.
no, because I think it's kind of weird because the Titan's curse just makes the timeline weird to count. Because he's 12 at the beginning of Lightning Thief, turns 13 by the end. Then he's 4. No, he turns 13, and then he's 13 in Sea of Monsters, turns 14 by then. He's 14 in Titan's Curse, 14 in this book, turns 15 at the end of it, and then he turns 16 in the last.
Yeah, it's like he in Titan's Curse he doesn't age at all.
I know that's why you all came for math. That's the great thing about this podcast. We can count.
Yeah. And then he doesn't age at all over Trials of Apollo or anything.
Well, the fact is, like, Trials of Apollo all takes in with like a couple of months, so he's like the same age.
What about the entire Heroes of Olympus series?
That's like 2 years.
It is? So then he's 18?
What? No, because it starts right off like. So he turns 7. He's 17 in Son of Neptune, and then he's
18 by the end.
yeah. No, I think he's actually 19 in Trials of Apollo.
Oh, he's old.
Yeah. Anyways, that's Percy. His age, fascinating.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
But Battle of Labyrinth. Hmm. Is the What was something in particular that you noticed on this reread, Diego?
Well, I don't know. I feel as though Rachel seemed like just a great character that I kind of like felt sort of robbed of during like TOA and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's just like she's like
I
a Grover person except she's like actually a good character.
I think something interesting about this book is that I think it does the best job of managing a large cast of
Yeah.
characters because we're not dealing with 3 heroes. I mean, we start off like going into the labyrinth with 4 heroes, and then in the labyrinth we meet Nico and Rachel, and so that's 5 people in total.
Wait,
And so I
really?
think,
Oh yeah,
uh,
Tyson comes too.
actually it's 6 people in total.
Why?
Because they go into with the maze with 4 people,
Tyson,
and then
Annabeth,
you add Rachel.
Grover, and Percy.
And then you add Rachel and Nico, and that's
Oh,
6.
yeah.
So I think, like, as opposed to the Titan's Curse, when it's like, hey, this is a large cast of characters, let's kill them off until only 3 of them advance to the mountain. Um, so like, there's that approach, but I think I think what I like about the Battle Labyrinth, it manages to make it all seem much smoother. Like, it's 4 of them adventuring together, which is like a really nice dynamic, and then they split off from Grover and Tyson, and then 3 of them go back in the maze: Percy, Annabeth, and Rachel. A very awkward dynamic, but 3 people that we can keep track of. And then we get back with Nico, and that's 4 people, and that's fine. And then I think we're like dealing with 4 people, and then we bring back in
And Grover, yeah.
Tyson and Grover when we go to Pan, and that's
Wait,
like
Nico's not there at Pan.
we've already. I mean Tyson and Grover. Did I say Tyson and Nico?
No,
Uh,
you said Tyson and Grover, but you counted Nico as well, even though he's only there like for
no, he's there in
no?
Pan.
Is he?
Yeah, he's there when
You
they're at
sure?
Pan. Did you read the
Yeah, I
book this
did,
week,
but
Diego?
I don't remember him being at Pan.
No, because remember there's that thing when Percy remembers how Pan talked to each of them individually, but not Nico.
Oh yeah, that's why I didn't remember him.
No, because Pan
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
talk to
I read
him.
it on Monday.
Um.
Cut me some slack.
Anyways, yeah. So Nico, I think that, like, but then, like, the way Rick Riordan brings back in the characters that we've already like established for this book and already have dealt with in this book. So it's not like introducing one character and introducing another and then introducing another, and just the cast of characters grows. Like, that sort of set aside of Tyson and Grover, and then bringing people in and then bringing Tyson and Grover back in is, I think, just a really smooth way to manage the cast of characters. So, like, everyone gets their moment to shine, and then, like, when it's actually 6 people traveling together, it doesn't
Yeah,
feel awkward. It
yeah.
feels like,
It doesn't
okay,
feel that
we
bad.
got this. And yeah, so I think that's actually really impressive that Rick Riordan was able to do
Yeah,
that in that way, and it's just so smooth. Yeah, so, like, it is like I thought it was like 5, maybe like, but no, it's actually like 6 characters, and you're not like, hey, where's that guy? Why hasn't he
yeah,
said
yeah,
anything in like a minute? And just because the author's forgotten the characters there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so and then they say like one line because the author remembered they were there and should try to give them some lines. So they,
Exactly.
yeah, that doesn't happen in this book. Um, which is always a nice thing when the author doesn't forget about
Yeah.
characters. And also a nicer thing when the author doesn't just kill characters because the cast of characters is too big. Also a nice thing when J.J. Abrams just sideline
Yeah, the
Rose
entire
because he
movie.
can't deal with her.
She came in
Mhm.
like once.
Yeah, annoying. But
Yeah.
anyways, Star Wars. When the new Star Wars was bad. Moving on.
Continuing.
Uh,
Oh, dude,
is there anything else you want to say? What?
I just realized Nico's like 80 years old.
Yeah, he's kind
Like
of old.
that's very
Nico
old.
is an old man.
And like Hazel is too.
I mean, he's not really old. You're just
well,
realizing
no, like I
this,
knew
right?
it. I just didn't realize like how old they actually were. Wait, they were born at the same time?
Yes. Wait,
Yeah.
get this. As the book gets older, the characters will actually get older too.
Why?
Because their birthday is the same. Like
Oh.
you can think about it
Oh.
because Percy's birthday is never specified in the actual books. It's just assumed that okay, let's assume that he's 12 in 2005 because he's 12 in the Lightning Thief in 2005 is when the Lightning Thief comes out. That's usually what's assumed, that he's 12 in 2005. But you can also just come at it from like this reader's perspective and say he's 12 whenever
Yeah.
I'm reading the book, right? And just right. But Nico's birthday is specified, so he's actually going to be older if you read the book 20 years from now.
Whoa. That's crazy.
I just blew my co-host's mind.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's a good note to end on.
Is there any Yes, Nico will get older. Moving on. Yeah.
Nico's actually like 105.
No, that's not
all right.
math.
I'm too fried.
See, I can count to 19, but Diego just
I'm unable to do such miraculous wonders.
I think this was a very number-filled episode.
This was the most math I've ever done in my entire life. I don't think I've done.
Okay. It's time to Odin and Athena.
So in this section, we discuss a question related to Riordan, and we kind of like, think about it.
Yeah. So, Diego, what's this week's question that you thought of?
Sam, cut.
Okay. What?
Someone called me.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, who's this?
What?
You called me.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. I literally just picked it up. I swear to God.
Okay. Have you ever read Rick Riordan before?
Sir?
Have you ever read Percy Jackson?
Who is that?
I think we have a question, Samuel. So listeners of the podcast,
Who's Samuel?
we have someone on the phone who has a very important question for us. So yeah, this is the Half-Blood Report, and you can kind of just ask us anything.
Excuse me, what? What? Hello, you're still there?
Diego,
no,
what are you doing?
I'm still here.
Why you call me?
Well, I called you to inform you that we are taking questions today here on the Half-Blood Report.
Okay, this is my joke call, not yours.
Yeah, so just feel free to ask any question that you feel like would be related to Riordan.
Did they hang up?
Oh, now they hung up.
Did someone just prank call you? And then
someone just attempted to prank call me and got prank called. So that's gonna be our end segment. Today,
I was gonna say that this episode should be called "We Do Math," but now it's gonna be called "We Get Prank Called."
Yeah, so I guess somebody attempted to prank call me.
Well, that happened. I hope you stayed until the end of the episode to hear that bit of hilarity. But yeah, that's it for this episode of the Half Load Report. Diego, how can I contact this podcast?
You can tweet at us with compliments, questions, corrections, or suggestions at Half Report. You can also find us on Instagram under The Half Blood Report, or email us at our website, thehalfbloodreport.com. That said, it's time for credits. Our theme music is actually by me.
I do most of our editing, and our recording equipment is on loan from William Bachman.
My co-host here is Samuel, and I'm Diego.
And someone prank called us this episode. This is the Half Blood Report podcast, the only HVR that matters. Survive till next week.